Get ready for a no-holds-barred look at the lies that real estate agents tell buyers and sellers. My name is Kelly Allen. I've been helping people move into and around the metro Atlanta area now for 26 years. And in that 26 years, I've heard a lot of stories as I sit across the table from buyers and sellers. And today I'm sharing with you my top 10. If you find this video helpful, please click the subscribe button and don't be afraid to throw a comment in the comment box if I've missed a lie that you've heard a realtor tell. Let's start with number 10, and this is for the home sellers. If you're sitting across the table from a realtor and they're telling you that your home is worth way more than what another realtor told you that it's worth, or maybe what other homes have been selling for in the neighborhood, I want you to know that is probably a lie. And here's what they're really trying to do. They're trying to make sure that their for sale sign gets in your front yard. They don't really care if your home sells. They just want the brand recognition, and they know that eventually you'll reduce your price. So that's how they're basically buying your listing. And overpricing your home in any market comes with a penalty in both how much you wind up selling for and how many days you're on the market. Let me give you a real world statistic. This is as of the third quarter of 2024 for Metro Atlanta. For those sellers that did not have to reduce their price, they got a median of 100% of their asking price. Compared to the sellers who overpriced their property to begin with, then had to reduce their price, those sellers got a median of 92.7%. That is almost an 8% penalty for getting the price wrong, but it doesn't stop there. If you overprice your home in this market, you will sit on the market day after day after day. So the penalty for overpricing your property as of the third quarter of this year was 68 days on market compared to just 11 days if you priced the property right and did not have to reduce your price. Lie number 9. You need to make an offer right now on this property, because if you don't, there could be multiple offers and another buyer might beat you out. Okay, so let's do a quick reality check. That was the market that we were in a couple of years ago, but since rates have shot up, we are no longer in that market. In fact, multiple offers are down significantly in the Metro Atlanta area. So if you're a buyer that's buying into the Metro Atlanta area, at least for right now, and my prediction is until rates go down, you're not going to have as much buyer competition as you had a couple of years ago. So the truth behind this lie is understand really how many multiple offers is this price point getting right now. While competition is real, this could be a high pressure tactic to get you to make a quick offer. And in the market that we're in today, buyers finally have the luxury of actually taking a couple of days and thinking about whether or not this property is truly a fit for them. Sometimes they can wait weeks, really, depending on how well the property is priced. Bottom line is multiple offers are not as prevalent as they once were. While a great property that's listed at the right price could still go with multiple offers, chances are, worst case scenario, you're only going to be competing with 2 or 3 other buyers. In most cases, you won't be competing anymore in this market. Now, that could change, so that's as of this recording. Lie number 8 that you might hear, that any time is a good time to sell your house. No matter what time of the year it is, no matter what month it is, it's always a great time to sell your house. This is a lie. Really? Listing your house the week of Thanksgiving is really a great idea. Or listing your house maybe 2 weeks before Christmas is a really good idea. Probably not. So let's be real here. There are seasonality swings in the Metro Atlanta market, and we have to think about those when it comes to timing. There's also bad days to list a house and great days to list a house. As an example, I never list a house on a Monday because everyone's just coming back from the weekend. They have a ton of emails to get through, and your listing is just going to get lost in all of those emails. Also, there's data that's available to show you when we have the most sales in Metro Atlanta and when we have the fewest sales by month. As an example, for the last 4 years in Metro Atlanta, and this really is true over the last 10 years, the months of May and June tend to have the absolute highest number of sales. So if you're really wanting to time the market, then getting on the market around between February and April would be an excellent time if that time frame in the year works for you. However, if it doesn't, there's still a strategy that can get your home sold. Not everybody can sell in the spring and the summer. And depending on the area that you're in, the school district that you're in, things like that, the time of year might not matter as much. But every day is not the best day to list a house. So just know that that is a lie, and really dig into the statistics, your motivation for moving, and the time frame that works best for you, and work out a strategy with your realtor, hopefully me, to make sure that you still net the most and get the most eyeballs no matter when you want to sell your house. Line number 7 is again for my sellers. And when a realtor tells you that, oh, they've got buyers lined up for your house, you might not want to believe that. First of all, if they've got buyers for your home, then maybe they're not the realtor that you want to list your home with, because then you're getting into a dual agent capacity. If they've got buyers for your home, awesome. Bring the buyers either before you list or after you list with a true listing agent. They can still represent the buyer. They can bring the buyer to you, and you will have your own representation, not some agent that wants to bring you the buyer and represent your best interest. That's not going to work. And also, many times those agents will say that, and they really don't have buyers. They mysteriously vanish as soon as you sign the listing agreement. So be wary of any agent that tries to get you to list their property with them based on the fact that they have buyers for your property. It's a huge conflict of interest. It does not serve your interest and can really get them and you in a lot of trouble. Line number 6 that you might hear, I'll handle everything. You don't have to do anything. Okay, now as a buyer and seller, as a consumer in the market, that's absolutely not true. You still have responsibilities. As a buyer, your responsibility is to understand the different areas and the nuances of those areas. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to researching areas and types of homes, getting your pre-approval, making sure that you have your lender, have all of the paperwork into your lender. And really understanding all of the paperwork that you're signing. The same is true on the seller side. There are staging responsibilities that frankly only you can do in a lot of cases. Also, again, understanding the paperwork that you're signing, packing up, moving, things like that. Okay, line number 5 that I pray you don't hear, but I worry that you might, is, oh, absolutely, prices are going to keep going up in this area. You're going to be fine, even if you have to sell in a couple of years. Now, here's the reality of that. Home prices in Metro Atlanta year over year are continuing to go up. But since 2020, we have gained as much equity in the last 4 years as we typically gain in an entire decade. So this huge year-over-year price increases have actually started to pull back a bit. And so in the Metro Atlanta area, I'm seeing anywhere from a 3% increase year-over-year up to about a 13.5% year-over-year increase. So while it's still increasing, holding onto a property for just a couple of years and expecting to make a lot of money on it and resell it may be a very risky decision to make. In fact, if you're buying in an area where the median sales price is going up 3% year over year, after 2 years, you'll have only gained 6% if you don't put any money into it. And that's just barely going to cover your cost to close and to sell the property. So make sure that you understand what's happening with values in the area that you're shopping in. How much are they going up? Are they still going up? And then how long would you need to hold on to that house in order to really sell it, go pay the expenses of selling it, and turn a profit if that's important to you? Okay, line number 4 that you might be hearing is, oh, it's still totally normal to waive inspections in this market. That is a bad idea and not true at all. Back around 2021 and 2022, we did have buyers that were waiving inspections because, my goodness, there were 20 offers on a house. And if you wanted the house, that might be what you had to do. However, those days are done. And instead of negotiating 3 or 4 days of due diligence period, I'm negotiating 5, 7, 10 days of due diligence period now for my buyers. So again, be wary of the agent who makes these huge claims about being in such an urgent market right now, because that is not the market that most of Metro Atlanta has been in now for more than 2 years. Line number 3 that you might hear is, oh, I've got the best lender and he has the lowest interest rates. Okay, guys, let me tell you how this works. If a realtor is telling you that they have a lender that can get you the best possible rate or the lowest possible rate, I want you to just be careful, okay? Because all lenders have the same mortgage interest rates, okay? The only way that a lender can give you a lower interest rate is if they are buying it down. And if they're buying it down, that means that they're either A, giving you free money out of the goodness of their heart, or B, they are actually charging you to lower that interest rate and they're just kind of baking it into the rest of the fees. Line number 2 that you might be hearing is, oh, this seller is never going to take a contingency on the sale of your home. That is a leftover piece of advice from when the market was much, much hotter than it is now. 2, 3, 4 years ago, that's very good advice. It was likely that a seller would not give you a contingency on your home selling. However, I'm negotiating more contingencies than I have in 4 or 5 years. And why is that? A, I don't make an assumption that a seller's not going to accept a contingency. And B, I sell it to them. Why is this a benefit to them? And if you have a seller that's been sitting on the market for 30, 60 days, and they don't have to liquidate that asset immediately, they just want to know that they have a buyer, this could be the perfect scenario for you as a buyer to have time to sell your home while also knowing that you got another home in the Atlanta area locked down. So don't believe it if an agent says there's no way they're going to accept a contingency. That agent hasn't tried yet. Finally, number 1 lie that you might hear as a buyer or a seller is, this is it, there's no more room for negotiation. This is not always true. Many deals have wiggle room. And frankly, when I'm negotiating for a client and the other party says, hey, this is it, there's no more, that's all we can do, my job is to get confirmation that that actually is the case. And the only way to do that is to go back and see if we can squeeze a little bit more. Worst case, they say no. Best case, we get a little bit more out of them. So don't hire a weak agent that's a weak negotiator. Make sure that you're hiring someone who has expertise in getting their buyers the best deal possible in this market. Here's the question that you ask the agent that you're interviewing to help you purchase a home in the Atlanta area. In the last 6 months, what is your average sales price to list price for your negotiations? This is going to tell you everything with how good of a negotiator they are. So here's the stat that you need to know. The median list to sales price as of the 3rd quarter in Metro Atlanta in 2024 was 98.1%. That means that the median home sold for 98.1% at their asking price. My median sales price to list price for my buyers over the last 6 months is 94.6%. That is, I'm beating the market by almost 4%. That's almost 4% that my buyers get back in their pocket. That is the statistic that you need to know when you're interviewing agents to help you purchase a home in the Metro Atlanta area. What do you think? Have you heard these before? Have you heard something else? Drop in the comments what your stories have been. And don't forget to click subscribe so you get even more insider truths from this Atlanta real estate agent.